Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Alrighty, cool. So today we're doing Girl from Ipanema. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this lady moderating the chat room, the high school grad, is the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what, Jamin?
Yes.
I have officially tried sushi for basically the first time.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. I think.
Well,
yeah.
That's not convincing. The words are, but the tone, not so much.
I think that I will have to continue to educate my taste palette.
Yeah, okay.
So that, you know.
It could be a little slimy at first. And I don't know, was it like did it have raw fish in it?
I didn't ask.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't.
You're just going by the taste.
Yeah.
And a mouthful of seaweed is maybe not your thing yet, but it could be.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Cool.
was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All
I'm
right.
glad that I did it.
Congratulations.
Thank
You're
you.
getting so old. All right. Well, let's go through this thing note by note. Even if you've never played any songs before, I think you're going to be able to get this one. It's fast, but it is repetitive enough that I think once you get the first few notes of it, you'll get the hang of it. And then there's a middle part that is not at all like the beginning or end. So it'll take some practice. But let's get started, and you can decide how much of this you want to take on. Don't be intimidated by how long it is and how many notes there are and how it looks like the notes are all going by so fast. All you need is this one note, this single G right here. And in order to find a G, you're just going to take any group of 3 black notes, like those ones right there, and take the middle note, and you're going to drag it down a little bit to the left, and you're going to land on a G every single time. If you play that one and not the one next to it, but the next one down, then you almost have all the notes that you need for the vast majority of the song. So it's going to be this one, and then the next one down. So those 3 notes are going to be super duper important. Also saying the words is going to be really important. You probably have heard this melody, even if you don't know that you've heard it before. Some of you already know Girl from Ipanema. You even know the title of the song. But if you think you've never heard this song before, then work on learning this song, and I guarantee you, within the next 6 months, you're going to hear it somewhere, most likely in a movie when they're making fun of elevator music. This is the song they're going to use 100% of the time. So then this G right here, during that G, you're going to say the word tall. Then you go down to that next note down, which happens to be an E, and say and play it again and say tan. So tall and tan, and then that D is finally going to come in for the word and. And that's kind of how we're going to go through this thing, is just saying the words out loud and playing the notes that are associated with each of the words. So tall and tan and then do all of that stuff again. Do pay attention to these guys right here, these swoopy lines. This is something that shows up in Clopple Academy, I think level 1 or 2, kind of at the beginning. These are called ties. So if you see one of those lines, it means that actually those 2 notes are kind of tied together. It's just one single G, which is why for both of those G's, you just get one word, young. So that's just one single G. You're only going to play it once. You're not going to play it twice. So what we have so far is tall and tan and young. And then we're going to go back to the E and love. Watch out for that tie right there, because that's just one single E. This is already cutting down on a lot of the notes it looks like we have to play, because we don't actually have to play the ones that are tied together. Then we have another E for Lee, and then the. So so far, it's just these 3 notes right here. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking and. Okay, so all 3 of those got us through the entire first line. So you just got to get used to the rhythms, although you can kind of mess with the rhythms too. You don't have to play exactly these rhythms. Just kind of cram in all of the words and make sure you have a note for each of the words. Let's try that much with the track. It'd go like this. It's kind of fast, but you'll get the hang of it. 1, 2, ready, go. Tall and tan, young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking and. Okay, cool. So then we're gonna do the same exact concept, like the same pattern here that we had these ones right there. If you want to kill the track for me, same pattern here, but we're gonna use these ones right here. So F and D and a C, and those are the words when she passes each. Okay, so this thing right here is going to be even more important than like these 3 notes, but this pattern of like 2 at the bottom together and then skip over a note, and it's all going to kind of happen in clusters of 3 like this. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking and when she passes each, And then the next set of 3 is going to be these ones almost right here. I wish it was, sorry, but this one has to be here. Otherwise, it's not going to sound right. So this set of 3 right here, this one's called a B flat, which is why it's got a little like flat symbol in there. It's got, looks to me like a half of a heart on a string, which is kind of morbid, but I guess it goes with this song because it's all about not being able, unrequited love or something like that. So this flat symbol right there means don't play a B, play the note slightly lower than B, a B flat. Okay, so then we've got 1, she passes, goes, ah. So all of that chunk right there is that set of 3. So we have a set of 3 up here that takes us all the way to there. So that's our first set of 3. And then our second set of 3 is right here. That goes to there. And then our third set of 3 goes right there. And that's going to make it through like literally 3/4 of the song. Just those 3 sets of 3 notes. Those ones, and those ones. It'll take some practice. It's not as easy as just playing the clusters. You still got to work out the rhythms and stuff like that. But those are all the notes that you're going to need. So let's try just the first part of the song. All of these notes are going to come back exactly note for note right here. The words change, but it's the exact same thing. So I'm going to call this the A section. Not be like the letter A, but just like the first section. And then I'm also going to call this the A section because it's the exact same section. So we're going to do the first A section, we're going to do the second A section, and then this right here is where we get to where it turns into the B section. That's entirely different. I'll show you how that goes. It's not too terrible. It's kind of the same thing. You just got to learn the clusters of notes that go together. Let's go from the top. That looks a little scary, but if I zoom in, that's not a whole lot better. So let's do this, just the first A section, focus on that, and then we'll move on after that. Here we go. Those 3 notes. 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, ready, go. Tall and tan and young and wait, hang on. Okay, cool. We probably said wait, hang on at the same time. That's when you looked at your computer and you're like, wait, hang on, because it's too fast. I know, it's too fast. Don't worry about it. You'll get the hang of it. This is probably not for you to like play perfectly right now. This is for me to play right now, along with future you after you practice it and you come back to this video and you come back to this section. So if it feels like, no, you're going too fast, that's fine. That's normal. I've been practicing this song for a long time. I just want you to play all the notes that you can. Don't worry about the ones that you miss, and then pay attention after you mess up and you're like, I don't know where I am anymore. Then keep watching me so that it still makes sense in your brain, because you can still be getting better by watching me if you're trying to like follow along in your head. Okay, one more time from the top. And a 2 and a 1, 2, do your best. Tall and tan, young and lovely, girl, from Ipanema goes walking. Next set. Okay, now the exact same thing, but different words. When she walks, she's like a samba that swings so cool, sways so true. Next set, she passes each one, she passes, goes. Okay, now here's the other part that we'll worry about later. But I want her so. Hang on, we're coming back to your part. Can I tell her I love? Okay, your part. Here we go. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl goes walking and she passes. I smile, but she doesn't see. Okay, the very end of that has to change a little bit. But I would call this whole section right here, like A, maybe A prime or something like that, because it's basically the exact same thing. But at the very end, instead of we're gonna go to a C and then to an E. It's still the same pattern. It's like high and then low and then scooch down and come right back up. But instead of, it's gonna be. Okay, so hopefully that pattern still holds for you. You can see where I'm getting that. So all of that is almost the exact same thing. That's the A prime section. That's smile, but she doesn't see is the end of that. So if you learned those notes for the A section, all you got to do is learn this B section and we're in business. You got the whole entire thing down. Also, beware, because the pattern for this is A, B, A. And the most common thing to mess up on an AABA, for as far as I can tell, for all of my students, is that when we get down to this last A, like we'll be playing the section, your brain will go, okay, we need to repeat that. Okay, cool, got it, repeat that. And then we go down to the B section, and your brain will play through the B section, and then it'll be like, okay, it's time for the A section, and they're gonna play the A section. But in your brain, for some reason, you just played the beginning A section. Let me show you this way. So this should be A, A, B, A. And when you play it again, it should be A, A, B, A, which means we've got 3 A's in a row, even though we don't really. It's A, A, B, A, 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 B, A, 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 B, A. But you got to be careful because that you do end up playing 3 A's in a row if you're going to play this song multiple times through. So just watch out for that. That's a really, really common problem, is that people will go A, B, A, B, like that, because the 2 A's always go together in their brain. Hopefully that made sense. Let's go again from, no, let's not go again from the top. Let me show you this B section. It's not too terrible. And all of the rhythms through the whole thing are pretty much the same. So we're gonna go right here. These 4 notes right here are going to make up the first thing, like the first pattern, the first line. So, oh, but I watch her so sadly. Those notes right there. Just take a look at the pattern and try to memorize that. It's gonna start right there, and then we're gonna go up, come down, and go up, and come down. So it's like in sets of 3. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and ends right there. Oh, but I watch her so sadly. Reading it on the page, like this thing looks terrifying. It's got triplets in there, it's got flats, and it's got all kinds of ties, and yeah, don't worry about that. It's 4 notes. You can totally do 4 notes. Oh, but I watch her so sadly. There we go. Starts on the white note, the rest of them are black notes. Okay, we're gonna do the same exact thing, but with this one, with these 4 notes right here. You just gotta memorize those 4 notes. Sorry, they're different from the first 4 notes, and they don't really fit into the same key for reasons we're gonna talk about in the intermediate and the advanced level of the lesson. But it's those 4 notes right there. Same exact pattern. Start on the next to highest note, like that. And then we've got one more set of 4 before the part that everybody messes up that you're not gonna mess up. So we started with these ones right here, those ones, then those 4 notes, and the last set of 4 notes is gonna be those ones right there. Just memorize them. That set of 4, that set of 4, that set of 4. Okay, it's the same exact pattern every time. Okay, so practice that up. Then there's one last part, the part that everybody messes up, but you're not going to, because it's those notes right there, and you're gonna memorize it. We're gonna walk from the A up to the C, going through the B flat, and then we're gonna use all white notes. But if you say the words, but each day when she looks at the, know that the last note, the last word, C, this is the funky one. On this one and the ones coming after it, which is very similar to it, this is gonna be the weird one right here. So when you get to the very, very last note, just play the weirdest note that you possibly can. You'll probably land on the right one. It's right there. But each day when she looks at the, it's basically all white notes with a B flat in there. But the last one is just like barely higher than the last note that you played right there, the C. So watch out for that. Another way to think of this, another equally weird way to think of this is you want to start on A and make a big loop around to A, but you got to make sure that you don't land on A again. So you're only allowed to play each of the notes once. So when we come up here, like we have one note left, but we're not allowed to play the A again, so we're going to like cram in that note right there. Whatever it takes, we got to memorize those ones. Those notes right there. And then we're going to do essentially the same thing. Go up a half a step, the next note, and then the next note, and then we're gonna jump down an octave for 2 B flats as well. She looks straight ahead, not at, and then right here we got the same issue going on. That's the last word of the phrase, me. So we're gonna play an F sharp right there. So again, those ones right there, those ones, and then those ones. And then up a half step, skip down an octave, and all white notes until the very last note of the phrase, and we'd land right there. and then we're into A prime. And you already know A prime. Okay. So, once again, the B section. Those ones right there. Those ones right there. Then, those ones right there. Then, we start on A, go up, but use a B flat, jump an octave, play a weird note at the end. Up a half step, jump down to B flat, play a weird note at the end, and then go back and play your A section. So you could go, no, I'll tell you about that in the intermediate level. For right now, let's go back and do all of this that we can remember. If you're in the archives, press pause, rewind, go back and visit any of those sections that you need to. It's weird to have to memorize those ones, and then those ones, and then those ones, and then that thing, and then that thing is all super duper weird, the B section. But fortunately, we get the A section 3 times, and that was relatively easy. So let's go from the top. I'll play all the notes, get all the notes that you can, and then rewind the video whenever you need to, and try it again. Let's go. And a 2, and a 1, 2, ready, go. Top and second A section. Okay, here we go. Starting with these 4 notes. Okay, now these 4. Ready, go. Can I tell her I'm... Okay, now these 4. Ready? Here we go. Yes. I would give my heart glad. Start on the A and work your way up. Jump down and play something weird. Jump down, play something weird, and the A prime section. And that last part was a little bit different. I'll show you that in the intermediate level. But I think that's all of the notes for level 1. We did the AABA thing, so that's all for the beginner's level. You'll have more time to practice it on the intermediate level of this same one. But right now, it's time for the feature of the day.
That's right, and today's term of the day is chord extension labels.
Okay, I kind of feel like we already went through a marathon, and this next thing might be as well. Here's the thing. For some of you, you have this problem, and this will be a great solution for you. For some of you, you've never run into this before, so as soon as I start talking, you'll be like, no, what's that problem again? If you feel that way, this is not for you. But a lot of you, like when I tell you, like, play a C minor 7, then you already know how to play a C, and you know how to play a C minor, and you know that the 7th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is this one, but it also might be this one. And so the question that I get on a play a C minor 7, the question I get is, well, is the minor referring to the chord, or is the minor referring to the 7? Okay, here we go. If we have C minor 7, here's a regular C, here's a regular 7. Because the 7 is always a whole step below the root. Here's the root of the chord. Unless I say otherwise, the 7 is always a whole step below the root. So this is called a major 7. This is called a 7. Alrighty, cool. This is called a C major, or a C. This one's called a C minor. Actually, this one's called a C. If I say play a C chord, you're gonna play a C major chord. I don't have to say C major. That one right there is C minor. So if I just say play a C, by default, it's major. This will make sense in a second, I promise, if you've run into this problem. So this is, by default, a C chord, C. I don't have to say major. This one is minor, C minor. This one is a 7. This one is a major 7. So that means that if I'm saying minor, I am not referring to the 7, because the 7 is always lowered by default. So if I'm saying minor, I'm talking about this part over here. We call this the triad. So if I'm saying minor, I'm referring to the triad. It's a C minor. If I say major, I'm not going to say play a C major. I would just say play a C. So if I say the word major, I'm referring to the 7. So a C major 7 Maj7 is one way to put it. Another way to put it would be a C triangle. So a C major 7, the major is not referring to the chord because the chord is already major. The major has to be referring to the 7. In a C minor 7, the minor has to be referring to the chord, the triad, because the 7 is already lowered, which some people call minor because it's stolen from the minor scale. But yeah, whatever. So minor always refers to the triad part, and major always refers to the 7 part. So this is a C major 7. This is a C minor 7. And yes, to answer the question that everybody has, this is a C minor major 7. C minor major 7. C minor major 7. C minor major 7. That's that one right there. C minor major 7. C 7. C major 7. C minor 7. C minor major 7. Okay, the minor is always referring to the chord. This major is always referring to the 7. Okay, again, if you've never run into that before, then probably very little of that made any sense at all, but it seems to be a really common question for people who are just getting into adding in extensions onto their chords like a lot of you intermediate players are. So, on that note, let's go ahead and go to the intermediate level of this lesson. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out, and if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.